What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, everybody? America! We are back again, Brooklyn Beers and Ball Sports Show. You know how we do. It is championship weekend in the NFL, AFC, NFC, the final four of the NFL, if you will. And again, it's still Don's world. And D is in the building for sure. Listen, I'm excited for Don. I'm excited for his Niners. Well, I don't know if I'm excited for them, but, you know, it's just part of the intro. I guess I got to say that. But, you know, nevertheless, Don is in the building and his 49ers, and they are playing this weekend. And we got a lot to discuss with these games coming up, man. But listen, before we do that, we need you to like, we need you to share. We need you to get on YouTube and Facebook. Y'all been rocking it, holding it down. We appreciate all the love that we've been getting, guys. And thank y'all so much for just being engaged with the show. This is our second season. We can't wait for next year when we get into season 3. Because after this football is over, guys, we're going to ramp up and we're going to talk some NBA. A whole lot's already going on there, of course, but it is about championship weekend. And so that's what it's all about. So thank you for the likes, the share, subscribe, YouTube, Facebook. We appreciate the love again. And Don, man, what's up with you, man? What's going on?
Oh, man, we got to knock this week out. I feel confident that we will. And just get healthy. Game plan for whoever we play. I like our chances in whoever we play. You know, I like our chances.
Okay.
Right, well, I think we owe Patrick Mahomes if we see him again. And, you know, for that Super Bowl loss. And we also owe Lamar Jackson for that shellacking they gave us, you know, at Levi Stadium. So anyway you cut it, we owe. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the opportunity.
There's debts to be paid.
There's debts to be paid, man. But without further ado, let's get into it. All right, James is in the building. What's up? Our UK affiliate is in the building.
What's up, James?
Appreciate
what's good with you, bro?
Us.
You are in the house.
Yeah,
it's
not raining this week. Yeah, it's the weather is actually pretty nice, to be honest.
Oh yeah, what's the forecast looking like out there, man?
I think. Well, I mean, it's been pretty warm. Believe it or not, it's been in the 50s, but no rain. Most importantly, no rain.
Yeah, because you know how Purdy and rain don't go well together. You know,
kind of like Cowboys and winning.
I'm sorry.
Because now if you're ready, because it seems like you already you took your vitamins, you took your Wheaties, and so your head is not hanging low. So I won't feel like I'm punching down to you if I start attacking your Cowboys.
No, it won't be a punch down because you know what? Due to your just I gotta say amazing counseling, Donald. I'm back now. Your counseling has brought me back. So I'm here. So, you know, if you hear me, now I'm taking jabs and my little
Let me test something. Let me test something out and see. Did that send you into a relapse?
No, I'm still good. See?
Okay, cool.
I'm still here.
It works. So
it works. Effective. It works. Yep, it works. It works. There's the test. I passed the test.
Right, because whenever you see that vacuum hole open, you know nothing good can come of it, of Dak Prescott.
Facts.
So let's talk about the NFC. Let's talk about the conference championship this weekend. Yeah. Final four, and so we're gonna kind of dissect and didactically go into each game. But let's talk about the Chiefs and the Ravens, okay? For pretty much the entire year, the Ravens have looked unstoppable. Yeah, they had one or two games that were kind of head scratches. Why they lost? I think they lost one to the Steelers. But that's a difficult game for them more often than not. I think they might have lost to Cleveland, something like that. One of the two, but it was a conference game, a division game that they lost. But for the most part, they've been rolling. The Chiefs look really good, right? But I think they kind of own. So if we're basing it off of last week, Patrick Mahomes, can we be honest with about Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes that it's not a competition. It's not a rivalry.
No, it's not a rivalry. No.
Patrick Mahomes, and although going into the game, it was 3-3, right? But all of Josh Allen's wins were regular season. When it really counted, when it was really pushing all the chips to the center of the table, Patrick Mahomes was 3-0. And now He's 4-0 in playoff games. So given the fact that that team, in my opinion, is going to blow up after this year. I don't know if there'll be coaching changes. I don't know if there's going to be personnel changes for sure. I think the Cowboys are favored to land Diggs if they can afford him. But I think that team is going to blow up. So with that being said, Josh Allen, that gap between Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen is going to that gap is going to even further widen, if you will. So I think that was going into that in that game. What can you really take of it? If someone mentally has the edge and they know how to perform in clutch situations, it kind of, as we always say, the cream always rises to the top. Josh Allen always, he reverted to his nature, which was to go for the home run ball instead of going to something. If you're in a 2-minute drive or you're trying to win the game or tie it up or whatever, you have to take what the defense gives you. And Josh Allen, in that play where he was trying to shoot the ball into or drive it into the end zone, instead of hitting Diggs on the crossing route, that would have at least netted a first down.
Absolutely,
and could have extended the drive and the game. He went for the long shot, then he was looking like a deer in headlights, and then going into 4th down, he felt forced to do something. And of course, at that point, the defense can pin their ears back and kind of just prevent you from either getting a first down or making a play, which they did, and they won the game.
Right.
Moving into this, I think Lamar Jackson has more pressure than Patrick Mahomes. The Ravens are 4.5-point favorites. Over under is 44.5. I think that the pressure is on Lamar Jackson only because he hasn't proven anything in the postseason. Right. He's going to win. Everybody thinks he's going to win his second MVP. We know how he had been prior to this postseason run. He was 1-3 in the postseason. And so this is a big game. It's important for it's important for Lamar Jackson to win this game, especially going through Patrick Mahomes, who arguably is the best quarterback in the league, right? So to go through the Kansas City Chiefs, who have had, 6 straight AFC championship games, complete dominance on the AFC side, and really the league side, going through him is the right quarterback to ultimately decide who goes to the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a very, very tight game, a close game. And strangely enough, the 49ers are still favored to win the Super Bowl. With the Ravens' dominance, of course, when you think about the pecking order, everybody is discounting Brock Purdy because of Jared Goff's been to the Super Bowl already. Patrick Mahomes has multiple Super Bowls. Lamar Jackson is multiple MVPs and dominance throughout. Brock Purdy's just, a little old 262. But look, and he is going to blow minds. But for this game, I think it's going to be closer than advertised. I think it might be 4 points is not a big deal, but I think Lamar is going to have to earn this one if he gets it. What do you say?
No, I totally agree. Pressure's on Lamar, no doubt about it. I mean, obviously his playoff history, 1-3. And for the caliber of quarterback that he is and what the expectations are, because he is the centrality of that team's success and has been since he's been there, the pressure is on him. Now, this is where you separate the men from the boys. That's what I argue about all the time on Twitter with the stupid Dak supporters and so forth, and who love to just give Dak all kind of platitudes and all kind of stuff, and then when they lose, it's like, well, it's a team game, right? Just a crazy philosophical approach to when when you judging quarterbacks. Look, this is where now you separate yourself from the greats, and this is what Lamar is going to have to do. What's going on, Scrap? What you do, boy? What's up, my brother? Scrap is in the building, y'all. I'm sorry he couldn't be with us today, but we're going to have Scrap when we preview the Super Bowl and everything, and shout out to his Eagles and so forth and so on, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to definitely talk about this coaching carousel in the next episode for sure. We'll dig into it. We got a couple of weeks before the bowl. But the thing is this. With Lamar, when you talk about Lamar Jackson, right, and you talk about the Ravens and this team, okay, this team, I heard a stat this morning, 9-0 against winning teams, and they win those games by 14 points or better. They have dominated all the good teams this year, right? They're now just completely antithetical to the Cowboys, who are beating up bad Division II teams according to NFL standards. But the Ravens can beat good teams, and they come and play well against good teams. They have dominated good teams. And so the thing is, this is a tougher match because you look at the number 2 defense in the league, Kansas City. This is the best defense that Mahomes has had since he's been with them and in their Super Bowl run and in their Super Bowl era, if you will. So Lamar has to be able to run the ball. They've got to be able to, and he's going to have to do a little bit of what Josh Allen is doing, right? Like, this is not the time where obviously you're going to try to keep Lamar reserved and, trying to, preserve his strength and all that stuff. You're going to have to run him. You're going to have to pull out all the stops, and you're going to have to make him a dual threat, which he can be. He led his team in rushing this year. So I think, here's my thing. It's crazy because it's like I want Lamar to win, but yet a piece of me is still cheering for Mahomes because, his greatness just can't be denied, D. Like, this guy, last week you talked about it as far as the dominance over Josh Allen and the Bills have their opportunities there. But Pat Mahomes, man, that's just another level altogether. And now that his receivers seem to be coming up, and let's not forget, he did win a Super Bowl pretty much with this same receiving core last year. These guys did show up and catch balls when it was needed. So the reality is that they look good last week. MSV caught 2 crazy passes, clutch catches last week in his game. Kelsey looked like he was back to his normal self. And we talk about Kelsey, he struggled this year. He still had 93 receptions for over 1,000 yards. So, it was mundane for most. Mundane for him, but that's a stellar season for most tight ends. But the truth of the matter is that everything is on Lamar. I totally agree. It's going to be a heck of a game. I don't think this is going to be a blowout because, again, you're not playing those other quarterbacks. You spanked Detroit and Miami and San Fran and a lot of good teams this year you beat, but you didn't. It's Patrick Mahomes, bro. That's a whole nother level. And that defense is hungry, as Lamar like to say. You know what I'm saying? Defense hunt, offense eat. But it's going to be hard because that defense ain't see a Patrick Mahomes. So that's a whole nother level right there. So it's going to be a good game. I know we'll pick our scores and whatever have you in a minute, but I'm with you on that. I think we're on the same page as far as the pressure is concerned. The pressure is definitely on Lamar. He's got to win. Other than that, he's a glorified Dak. That's all he is. Glorified Dak if he can't win.
Has Dak gotten to the Super?
Well, when I say glorified Dak, in other words, Dak glorified Dak. So he's Dak, but at another level, right? He's accomplished more than Dak, but he just can't win at the level he's at. He surpassed Dak's level, but he just can't win at the next level. So It's just Dak.
Because Dak hasn't won an MVP, has he?
No, Dak has not won an MVP, and Dak is only 2-5 in the playoffs. Now, him and Lamar kind of, 1-3 for Lamar, 2-5 for Dak. You know what I'm saying? Not much of a difference.
No, Lamar's 1-2. He should be 2-3 now. He should be 2-3.
He's 2-3. Right. 2-3. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he should be
2-3.
So
2-3. My fault.
He has an opportunity
right.
to,
Yeah, and he will. I believe he will. I believe Lamar will win a Super Bowl. I do believe that he will win a Super Bowl.
Will he win this year though?
Honestly, I do think he will win this year. I do. I think he can beat the 49ers or Detroit. And if he beats Mahomes, he's going to beat the 49ers in the.
Okay, so let me ask you a question before we get to the scores.
And definitely Detroit. Yeah.
Do you feel that the Ravens, the way they play, who do you think is a tougher matchup for Lamar Jackson? Are you suggesting that Kansas City is better than any of the NFC teams? Because that's what you're basically saying.
Yes, I do. I do think that. I think. Well, let me put it to you this way.
You're bugging.
The construct of the team. If you compare 49ers to Kansas City, right? On paper, the 49ers are better, but we can't ignore, and it's hard to ignore, the X factor, and that's Mahomes. They didn't even have a good their defenses were
so do we have X factors?
Mediocre when they were winning the Super Bowls, Kansas City.
All right, do we have X factors on our team? Mahomes is the X factor, right? But do we have X factors on our team? I'm just wondering. But
not to the level of Mahomes though, because he controls. Mahomes is
CMC.
Everything starts and begins with him.
CMC is to running backs what Mahomes is to quarterbacks.
I don't know about that, D.
Okay.
CMC is definitely right now, but there's a lot of
running back to CMC because I said CMC is to running backs what Mahomes is to quarterbacks. That is a honest
but his
statement.
impact, but I don't think his impact is the same. In other words, you could still stop CMC and the 49ers can still win. Right? If you stop Mahomes, you're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. You could still stop and neutralize CMC. You can neutralize CMC. He didn't have even a great game last week.
He had 2 touchdowns. I don't understand what you're talking about.
He had yes, but I mean he did have 2 scores, but the game was still in reach, and the game was still very much competitive. So therefore, he was neutralized. He didn't blow the game open. You know what I'm trying to say? Like there's a different look and feel to their impact. CMC, I agree with you. He is to the running backs what Pat is to the quarterbacks.
But, why are you arguing with me?
Because here's where I disagree. Here's where we part ways on that theory, though, is that when one doesn't play well, the team can still win, as opposed to the other player that doesn't play well.
We got another Rod in the building.
Yeah, what up, Rod? What's up, Rod?
He's a Raiders fan. We know this.
He's a Raiders fan?
I know this, Rod. I believe I know this,
Pierce. Is that the same Rod? Ravens versus 49 Super Bowls. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing for the Super Bowl pick. And again, D, I mean, yeah,
I am Debo an X factor. I want to know if Debo's an X factor.
Debo is an X.
Now we have 2 X factors.
Well, right? You have 2 X factors. In fact, now I'll retract a little bit on this.
Thank you. I appreciate
your argument would be better if you had Debo as your major X factor, because without Debo, your offense looks considerably different. 3 yards less a carry per play when he's not out there. And Purdy struggles. The offense looks very different when there is no Debo. So Debo, because of the way he plays,
and I tell you that Debo,
and how he impacts when he touches the ball.
Debo is trending towards playing. But can I tell you that?
Okay.
Can I suggest to you that Brock Purdy will not only not struggle, he is going to thrive Sunday?
Yeah, because I think you got opportunities against those corners in Detroit. Yeah.
Don't try to make up excuses. What up? Oh, so it is my man. He said he wants your beard. He said
Rod's beard.
Yeah, that's like my man.
4 years to get this beard. I was actually following Donald, bro. Donald had the beard for
and he surpassed me. You see that, right? he was like,
right. You know what I'm saying?
Rod's beard became like the pottery that grows. He put that green stuff like the chia pet, and that joint is just
the chia pet, right?
Word. But, I mean, your beard has surpassed mine. Clearly.
Yeah, I was following you, bro.
Excellent job.
Thank you.
But let me tell you, I'll say this. I think that Mahomes, with the pressure being on Lamar, I think that we can attack. I'm looking forward to either team we play. Of course, not looking past Detroit. Detroit's going to be a good team. But this is something that I'm excited about.
Which is?
The center for Detroit.
Yeah.
Frank Ragnow, whatever.
Oh, he's great. He's not playing? He's not playing?
Have not practiced all week. And that was
that don't mean they won't play, though. That don't mean they won't play. As long as they play. That's a good move if he's not practicing.
We'll see.
So he don't need to practice. Just keep him healthy, because you don't want to get no stupid injuries in practice.
Okay. I think they have some injuries. I think they have some injuries on the offensive line. I do. And if they do, the question is always going to be, when you compare Jared Goff under pressure, and I think we're going to dial up some serious pressure. You better.
You better.
We are familiar with Jared Goff. It's not like this is a quarterback we haven't seen. We're familiar with him when he was with the Rams. So we understand how to get to him, how to impact him, how to get him off the ball and change who he is as just being a uninterrupted pocket quarterback. He's not mobile whatsoever. So that's another thing that no one has to spy Jared Goff. He's not going to take off and run. He may do it as a last resort. So I like our chances to really shut down their offense as a whole. I like our opportunities to do that. But I'm going to give you my score for the Chiefs-Ravens game. Once again, okay. Baltimore is a 4.5-point favorite. Over under is 44.5. I do like the Ravens. But I think it's going to be a really, really tight game. So I'm going Ravens 28, Chiefs 27.
28-27. Yeah, that's a good guess. Yeah. Ooh. All right. I'm gonna go. That's a 1 point differential. I'm gonna go a little lower than that. I think this game is gonna come down to plays more than just obviously scores. The ultimate outcome of a score determines the winner. But I think this is gonna come down to plays. So I'm going for a lower scoring game. So I'm going 23-19. Ravens. 23-19 Ravens. Yeah. Yeah. Because I think it's going to come down to play. And I hear you, James, on that, the big plays. Well, we're going to talk about the 49ers in a minute, so we'll get into it. We're going to talk about the NFC anyway. So he still made 2 drives look spectacular. I'm not blaming him for a bad grip on the ball. Yeah, I mean the rain, but but let's not only assume the rain. I mean, Green Bay actually, who I was shocked that Brady got fired. Actually, I was quite surprised by that firing.
Yeah, I was too. I thought they did a good job.
Yeah, overall. I thought he performed well in the playoffs with his defense. So I don't know why he got fired. But anyway, but you got to give credit to their defense too. I think they did some things there. And the way that they blanket things, because again, and not having Debo obviously makes a big difference, D. And I know we get ready to jump into it.
And not having Debo, there is a difference. If Debo didn't play this week, right, we would game plan for him not playing,
right?
Which is different for losing him in the first quarter, and then your plays that you have designed for him are not. You can no longer put in the playbook.
Yeah, I agree with that to a degree, but you've had games with no Debo, and Shanahan
that you knew ahead of time.
But Shanahan still, but you lost him early enough in that game to where Shanahan could make in-game adjustments. And
we won, right?
No, y'all won, but I'm just saying, yeah, y'all won, but but the whole time to prepare without Debo, I don't know if that argument sticks because again, if you lost
CeeDee Lamb in the first quarter, how would your team fare?
Well, I'll answer that in a 2-parter. Number one, we don't do well with CD, and he could be in the game and still be missing because we just don't know how to get him the ball anyway, right? We don't make adjustments. But in theory, you would think that if you lost your star player that soon, then you would be able to, obviously your whole game plan changes, right? But Shanahan is equipped and adept enough to do that. You know what I mean? And he's proven that before. And he knows what life is like without a Debo. And Debo can get hurt. And you're going to have that game plan again, I'm sure, this week in case something happens to him, God forbid. Not enough big plays on defense. Yeah. I'm going to tell you, D, and James brought it up with Thomas. Thomas, y'all gonna have to give that boy some help. That cornerback is he can lose it for y'all. There's opportunities against him.
He was looking a lot like what's the dude that gets double moved on the Cowboys all the time?
Oh, you mean the first team All Pro? Yeah, Bland. Yeah,
Bland.
Yeah.
First team All Pro.
First team All
Home. Yeah. The first team All Home. All home. First team all home.
I can't. Hey, listen. Once you go there,
you started it from the rip. I was quiet.
Well, you know what? The one who gets double beat. The double moves.
No. You started the show with the mess. I wasn't even going to bring the Cowboys up. I saw that glimmer in your eyes. You look like the old Rod. I wasn't going to bring up anything that was going to set you back. But you started the show in the introduction like you wanted some smoke. So I say, all right, I guess the gloves are off. I guess I can interject.
I just feel free, man. There's no pressure on me this weekend. I'm just watching games, man. That's it. Just watching games. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not emotionally vested. So yeah. So I can come at you now. I got more energy for you. You know what I'm saying? So
that makes sense. That makes sense, actually.
If my Cowboys are still playing, I won't be talking nothing, D. That's all
right. Okay, let's talk about this NFC Championship game. Okay. Lions versus the 49ers. Now, history is against the Lions. The last time I believe the Lions won in San Francisco on the road, I wasn't born. I think they're 13. I think the 49ers at home against Detroit are 13.
Oh, you mean when they what? Say that stat when they was there what?
The last time Detroit beat the 49ers on the road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
in a what?
I think in the playoffs.
Oh, the playoffs. Okay.
I think in the playoffs, yes. Oh. I wasn't born. So history is against them. And I know this season, Detroit has overcome a lot of stuff. You know, I think it was 1991 before they, I don't know what the year was before they won the division.
Yeah, and then, they beat Dallas in 91. Bad.
It was 91. So it was 91 when they
beat Dallas.
Right. And I think they had successfully won a playoff game. So this is a historic year for them. Sunday, it ends. History ends. And I just want to take the time to give them applause, because all season, when we were talking about the hierarchy of the NFC teams, or the teams that we think would be in this game and beyond, we talked about the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and Detroit. We said that, I said personally that Detroit was fraudulent, right? I compared them to Miami, another fraudulent team, but only on the AFC. So they had a lot of things that were impressive, their offense, but when you really peel back the layers, they were a fraudulent team. And look at that. Fraudulent, but yet they're in the NFC Championship game, which, you know, says a lot about the Eagles and the Cowboys, the other teams that I put ahead of them. But it also speaks to their resilience and them being able to take on the attitude and the spirit of their coach, biting kneecaps and, you know, doing whatever it takes to win. And they take a lot of chances. They do a lot of try to do. And so they'll do what it takes to try to manufacture some type of offense. They'll do trick plays, fake punts. They'll do all type of flea flickers, all kind of, you name it.
Yeah.
Because they are looking, no matter what, to get the W. So I'm not looking past them, but I do think that the 49ers are going to apply immense pressure on them. And I will, although I picked last week that it was going to be a blowout, I didn't take into consideration rust and the weather. And I'm not making excuses, because ultimately we did get the W. But I didn't factor that stuff in. There is not going to be a bigger gap. We're playing this week. I think, of course, there's 2 weeks between the Super Bowl, the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, and there's a lot of press and traveling and all that stuff. But two things that, number one, doesn't appear that there's going to be a drop of rain, right? Number two, in Allegiant Stadium, there is no rain. It's a dome, right, in Vegas. So rain and all of that, and ball handling and grip and all that will not be a factor. So I do like our chances to advance, and I think we're going to advance in a major way. I like this game, and you've heard me say this before. I think we're going to roll, right? I think we're going to roll over Detroit. I think Detroit, especially if they have those offensive line issues and injuries, or their offensive linemen are not 100%, their center or their left guard, I think Jared Goff, who's not a mobile quarterback, is going to be in some serious, serious trouble. What do you say?
I say that you're not going to blow Detroit out because Detroit has a very good running game. And, you know, Jones ran the ball very well on y'all. And even with the big one
thing?
Yeah.
Prior to Jones having a great game, and I think he ended up with 107 or 117, we went 51 games without a running back running for 100 yards. So that could be more of an anomaly. That's not the norm. Go ahead.
I mean, that could be, but you know, it's playoff
games.
But it's playoff football, and 51 games included some of your playoff games too. I would imagine, if you're talking obviously unless you're talking about 51 regular season games, but if you're talking about 51 games, and that included your playoffs in the last few years as well. But D, they can run the ball, and they got a good O-line, and you know, I'm not saying if they need to rush for 240 yards as a team, but they can run the ball and still keep the Niners defense honest enough. That's what Green Bay was able to do. You know, even before the big 51-yard run that Jones had, Jones was still running the ball pretty effective. And so, again, it kept them in the game. It kept them, the Packers, that is, you know, still dimensional. And so that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? He hit 100 because he broke with 50.
That's
right.
Exactly
no, but
right.
but he had 51 yards almost in the first half alone.
He did.
Now, yeah. So I'm saying now whether they got away from him, and I'm not saying that he obliterated the Niners defensively on the run, but again, he still kept it honest. Okay, he still kept it where that game was close and they were still able to move the ball, and Jones still had some pretty good runs, whether it's a 4-yard run, a 6-yard run, another 4-yard run, everything, he ain't got to pop for 13 every run like he was doing against Dallas. But what I'm saying is that as long as it keeps it honest enough so it makes y'all think, you get into a 2nd and 5, right? Or if you get into a 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 2 even, you got to be aware of, okay, how do we bring this pressure? Where are we going to bring it from, right? Because the Lions are going to still have options in that kind of down and distance situation. So my thing is this: Detroit has opportunity against that defense, especially against if Armand Brown, you got Laporta, they got weapons, bro.
They picked up Ertz. They just picked
up Ertz. I don't expect Ertz to make much of it.
Yeah.
Ertz is not. He ain't gonna make a difference. Yeah. I mean, that's a nice little, because he had a name and a couple of time Pro Bowler. I mean, he was good, but he ain't gonna make a difference. You still got Laporta's your boy, right? You got Armand Brown. You know what I'm saying? You got receivers. Gibbs, exactly. So I'm saying, and you got
David Montgomery.
So you got a dual back situation back there. So I'm telling you, they can run the ball and they can pass. So the 49ers got to be very, very careful, because that was more of the case there. And if there is, for whatever reason, because now remember, they're 3rd against the run, so they're zeroing in on CMC. So what do you think Detroit's going to do? They're going to say, Purdy, you're going to have to beat us, because
and what are they ranked? What are they ranked?
They ranked 3rd. I think they're ranked 3rd.
29th in pass.
No, 29th. Right. So that's
what
I'm saying. No, they are.
Purdy's going to eat them alive.
No, I agree. But again,
350 in the air. 350 in the air. Put that. D. I'm going to clip this. 350. D. Purdy's going to have 350 in the air. Let me write that down so I can reference this. 350 in the air.
I mean, look,
at 30,
I don't know. I think you're being a bit zealous there. I think that's a bit aggressive. That's a bit
350. Ugh. Because when you think about, we're going to try to capitalize on what we can do and what they're not good at, right? So if they're 29th against the pass, it would only make sense to pass, right? Because tell it, they're really good and stout against the run, right?
Yeah, they are.
Their overall defensive ranking is not that great.
It's
not as great as you would think it is.
Well, neither was Green Bay's, right? But Green Bay still neutralized. And again, I know y'all gonna say the rain and Purdy only had 3 fingers to grip the ball with. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? But you can't take away from what they did. I mean, he was holding with his fingernail and it was the rain couldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to say.
We're not saying that. Wait, listen. No excuse.
The Green Bay is their middle of the pack defense, but they came up with a scheme. And that's the thing. If they come up with the right kind of scheme to at least neutralize. See, that's what it all boils down to, D. It's just neutralization. If you can neutralize the weapons, you give yourself an opportunity. Now, if you got IU catching, post routes all day.
Who are they going to take away? My question is, Detroit is not good enough to take all of the weapons away. Who will they take away?
The first, you got to take away. You got to find a way to take away the running game, and that would include CMC first, and then Debo in the mix of that as well. Because you got the slants, you got the, you know what I'm saying. So because and Debo can go down the field and catch passes too. But the main thing with the Niners is that they're gonna scheme to death ways to get their guys open against those mismatches and get guys in space, right? So that they can do what they do well.
And like if you got a ton of mismatches, there should be a ton.
There should be, because I agree.
29th.
No, you're right, because their corners now their safeties are good. Oh boy, that rookie they got, what's his name? Branch is good.
Oh yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, Branch is good. It's just their corners. It's their corners are really where they're weak at. So you would probably have some opportunity there. I don't know if they're going to play with some cloud coverage or something like that. Try to keep a safety over the top. You know what I'm saying? And it's more or less, hey, pick your poison. Just pick the poison that you think is least effective. I don't like that awful line running back where he motioned from the gun to 5 yards behind the wide receivers. I now CMC is good, but he's His wheel routes and checkdowns are brutal for teams. Yeah, definitely his wheel routes. His wheel routes is crazy. Definitely.
Look who joined us.
Yo, Briggs!
What's
Briggs
going
is in
on?
the building. Oh man, Briggs,
man.
boy. Now Briggs went on record.
Now you know what we're gonna do, right? Ken, you know what we're gonna do on Sunday, right?
Listen,
like
Briggs.
I'm trying to school Rod on what the 49ers are gonna do against the 29th passing defense in Detroit. Brock Purdy is going to have, and I don't know if you just joined the show, Brock Purdy is going to put up 350 on him.
Yeah, D saying
350 passing. 350 passing.
But D, your offense changes a little. Let me not say your offense changes, but you got to remember your defense still has some holes. Outside of that linebacker, when you get beyond that second level, right? And Ward has played good, okay? But your boy Thomas he's a liability back there.
Thomas
Aubrey Thomas is a liability, bro.
Pass interference.
I mean, and those are some bad pass interferences too. Like, it's not even where you could be like, not much there. Or he was making a play for the ball. Like, he didn't even know where he was at. You know what I'm saying? So my thing though, D, Detroit make Purdy beat him is the weather. He will. I agree. No, I don't.
And I'm basing it off of Rod saying that Detroit's going to shut down and run.
But when you look at the context of the game, if your defense is not playing well, D, okay, then I'm not saying it's going to change the game plan offensively for the 49ers, but things might look a little different because you got to be really, really, really careful with your possessions now. Because, and I'm not saying that the 49ers are going to give up, touchdowns every time Detroit gets the ball. But what I am saying is that if Detroit moves the ball successfully and gets a lot of movement and they're kind of somewhat controlling clock and they're looking good, that can affect some things in terms of how you're going to call your play now. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. Purdy's got to, and if they get pressure on Purdy, because they're going to bring it. They're going to bring it. And you saw what happens when Purdy gets pressure too, like any other quarterback. That's why I don't know why people always bring that up. Like, this one is bad when you get pressure. Every quarterback is not that great when you put a lot of pressure into them. You know what I'm saying? If they can't read their hots really well, and like Dak Prescott, although Prescott did do well against the blitz this year, he is pretty much decent against the blitz. But I'm saying, if you throw a lot of pressure, I've seen Purdy throw the ball and just throw, and when he throw, he literally ducked after he threw the ball. You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm saying, bro, he ain't standing there taking hits. You know what I mean? That's the difference. Yeah, that's right. Even Michael knows it. It's like, yeah, you got a point. So I'm saying this is not going to be a blowout, D. This is not going to be. Y'all could have blown out Green Bay. And I know you said you wasn't giving no excuses about rust, okay? But Green Bay came in with a plan.
3 weeks
and LaFleur came.
I will say this. There's no excuse because we ultimately won the game. I thought that the score would have been completely different, but hats off to Green Bay, a young team that played well. But we ultimately got the W. At the end of the day, Greenlaw had the 2 interceptions and ultimately finished the game.
And that was a bad throw. Listen, if Love, it's 1st and 10. Now I blame LaFleur. You got to tell your young quarterback, you got 3 timeouts. All we need is get in field goal range. You could try to hit the sideline routes, but it's okay to go into the middle of the field. But you didn't have to make a heroic play on 1st and 10. Right. 1st and 10. Don't get a check down. You still got timeouts, and you can still move the ball. I didn't understand what Love was doing right there and throwing it into triple coverage. Because if he didn't get that, Warner was right behind him with the pick. So somebody would have gotten it. You know what I'm saying? We have to run the ball well. Our defense has to dominate up front and keep pressure on goal. No, you definitely have to do that. And then on the flip side, again, your right side of your line offensively is a little compromised, just a little bit. Your right tackle in them, that you can get pressure on that side. So that's all I'm saying. If you get some pressure on Purdy, again, I think offensively, we all understand what the Niners need to do, right? With the plethora of weaponry you have, we know what y'all can do against a 29-ranked defense in the past. I get you, D. I'm not going to argue with that because I said that when we played Detroit. I said there's opportunities against their secondary in terms of the corners. But your defense, Steve Wilkes better be looking and
Dave
watching.
Dave entered the con.
Hey, what up, Dave? This might be a good time for us to be going live, D.
With some foolishness. He's coming in with foolishness, though.
He's destined to go to the Super Bowl. Oh man, he said it destined. Dave,
Let me take this comment down. He's coming in with foolishness.
Gotta show them some love, D. Yo, Dave, tell us why you think they destined, though. Put in the comments why you think
he's a Patriots fan. He's a Patriots fan. That's why.
Oh, he's a Patriots fan. David's a Patriots fan? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a Patriots fan.
Okay.
And so their fall from grace, everyone's grasping at straws to try to figure out what their next team is going to be. And, you know. So that's the reason. I know who David. David happens to be my cousin.
Oh, that's your cousin. David is your cousin.
That's my cousin with the foolishness.
Oh, man.
Dave. I think that's my cousin.
Oh, wait. Yeah, because is that Dave? Wait.
Yeah, that's Dave.
Dave. Okay, yeah, he is a Patriots fan.
No, I'm just joking. Yeah. He is a Patriots fan. He loves Brady. He's been a Patriots fan forever, and now, you know.
Right. Well, as long as he's still a Patriots fan.
Now it's my turn to have
to shine
a little
and get
moment in the sun. Then, oh, no, it's Detroit's time.
It's Detroit's time. Detroit is
the foundation of the world. Get out of here.
But like Jane said, y'all going to have to chip. Yeah, because Hutch is coming.
Oh, yeah.
Hutch, and he's balling in these playoffs. See, I think he's already got 3 sacks, maybe even a little more. I got to look at the stats. But, yeah, he's balling.
Okay,
I'm a Tom Brady fan. He's a Brady fan.
He's a Tom. Oh, he's
so that means he's a fan of Fox. He's a fan of Fox Sports. That's where he'll be announcing.
He'll be announcing next year. Yeah. So tune in to your quarterback. Now, let me ask you a question, Rod. Let's get a score. Now, for the record,
let's get a score.
49ers are 7.5-point favorites. Now, it's been bet up. 49ers are more and more people are obviously coming in on the Niners. 7.5-point favorites. Over under is 51.5 points. I think it's going to listen. If I got to get my score, I really think Niners roll, man. And for me, I'm going to stick to what I've said the entire season. All I'm concerned with is us winning and getting out healthy, right? But I do think when you compare our quarterbacks, because, I mean, there's obviously going to be a comparison between Jared Goff, who has been to the Super Bowl and lost, and Brock Purdy, who has made it up into an NFC championship game and got injured really early on. If you compare them under pressure, who is better, who is able to perform, weapons, if you go weapon for weapon, if you do player for player, I think the 49ers are superior. I think if you go coaching, we have a coaching edge, right? Because biting kneecaps is only going to get you but so far. At some point, you're going. I mean, it got you to the NFC Championship game, but that was sheer grit. That was a little bit of luck.
I don't know, D. You're not giving them enough credit, though. I mean, they scheme. They got a really good offense. They can move. They got schemes. They coach really well. You know what I mean? You know, they got a good OC. Okay, you know, they can do some things. I mean, they're just not all, you know, blue collar. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think you're giving them a little less credit than they deserve. I mean, than you should not be. Well, you should be giving them. You know what I'm saying? It's bust. Yeah. I said at the beginning of the season. Oh yeah, Super Bowl or bust for 49er fan. Yeah, because let me tell you something. Pressure's on Shanahan, bro.
Of course,
pressure's on Shanahan.
It is.
Oh yeah, if Shanahan don't win, he don't get into the Super Bowl, and if he gets, and even if he loses in the Super Bowl. You know, he could be. I don't say a Marv Levy or a Bud Grant with the Vikings who lost 4 Super Bowls in the 70s, but he, you know, he's gonna be the dude with the great regular season playoff wins, but can't win.
To Andy Reid in Philly, which was
that even might be a more legitimate comparison. You know, he can't.
I think the pressure is on Shanahan. To not only win this game, but also win the Super Bowl, get to the Super Bowl and win. I like our opportunity to prepare. I would, if we do, in fact, win and play the Ravens, and I think we can take away from that shellacking that we took. I think we can learn from that. If we had played them, if we hadn't played them in a regular season and just faced them, then I would be a little bit more, this is going to be a challenging thing. But I think we learned from that. They beat us, I think, 33-19, and the game wasn't really close. We had a lot of turnovers. Mm-hmm. It was just a bad game overall.
Yeah.
If we face them again, I think we'll be better prepared to deal with them.
I think so. And I don't think it'll be a blowout.
I would like our chances to actually win that game. Patrick Mahomes, I just don't think they're as good as they were when we faced them in the Super Bowl, or even as good as they were last year. I think if some way, somehow, Kansas City Chiefs win and then we win against Detroit, I know it's a little premature. If we come out healthy, I think we roll over Kansas City, to be honest, because I don't think they don't have the weapons even that Detroit has.
That's a good defense, though, D. That's a good defense, man. This is the best defense Mahomes has had in his Super Bowl runs. This is the number 2 defense in the league.
But it's not the best offense. If you
all those guys got to do is catch the ball, D. They're gonna be open. All they got to do is catch the ball. Like kickers got to kick. All they need is to catch. That's it. They ain't got to be fancy with it. They ain't got to be dazzling with the yak. Done. If they catching those passes from Mahomes, they're going to win. Mahomes just says, catch the ball. I'll get us down the field. Just catch the ball. That's all. And you got Pacheco running too. Listen, D, listen, you know what makes it strange with this team, with Kansas City? This supposed to have been a retool year for them. They're supposed to take a break. This is where they're supposed to take a vacation.
It wasn't a retool.
It's a retool. Because the receiving core.
What do you mean retool?
Right, but their receiving core.
The retool year was the year before when they got rid of Tyreek Hill. That was the retool year. Not this. Right. You don't come off the Super Bowl and then you're saying retool. What really changed?
I'm gonna tell you, because in the scheme of things, right, it was about the receiving core, right, that they had, and
they got younger at receiver.
There was some issues with Kadarius Toney contract in the beginning, but obviously they got that settled for this year.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at them, and then as they began to unfold their season, you could see that this team still was not the team they were last year.
Oh, right. So, I agree.
You know what I mean? So I think when you look at them, and the expectations may have been adjusted a little bit, right? You might say, okay, Chiefs will be around because they got Mahomes, but nobody expected them to go this far, and then even possibly represent in the Super Bowl. So what I'm saying is they this was a team. When I say retool, I'm talking more like from the thing where they're still obviously a Super Bowl caliber team, but they were not expected to go to the Super Bowl or be in a Super Bowl, or maybe even less in Mahomes' 6th straight AFC Championship game. So that's all I'm saying in that sense. And they're still here, and they still have a chance to win this game against Lamar. Because playing on the road, that means nothing to Mahomes. Like, just because he's never played on the road before in his Super Bowl runs, he's played, spectacular against Buffalo. And I think he's going to still have a good game against the Ravens just the same.
But does he have the mental edge? Does he have the mental edge over Lamar that he has?
Yes, he does.
Clearly, over Josh Allen.
Yeah, he does.
He clearly has it over Josh Allen. I don't think have they ever met? I don't think they've ever met in the playoffs.
Who? The Ravens?
Lamar and Mahomes have never. I don't think they've ever met in the playoffs. I
don't think they have. I don't know.
Because Lamar, remember, he's never advanced this far before. No. So clearly, I don't think when they lost to Tennessee. They were the number 1 seed and lost to Tennessee. They were one and done, right? And so, I don't know if him and Patrick Mahomes ever met, but we clearly see that Patrick Mahomes has a mental advantage, and he is in Josh Allen's head. Josh Allen cannot get over Patrick Mahomes. So I don't know if that is the same case with Lamar. Lamar might be, listen, he may not care. And he's at home.
Yeah.
I don't think they've ever faced each other. I mean, they've probably played each other in the regular season, I'm certain. But I don't think they played each other in the postseason.
And not in the postseason. No, not in the postseason. I'm just trying to.
So, I'm going to give you my score prediction, and we'll see what you think about it. I have the 49ers rolling, man. I think it's just going to be too much for Jared Goff to overtake. It's going to be, I think that they're going to dial up.
Yeah, first time in the playoffs, D.
Immense pressure. Immense pressure on Jared Goff. He's not going to be able, honestly, when you think about it, when you look at his numbers, even when he played the Rams, when they compared his under pressure numbers, his efficiency, and when he just had a clean pocket, it was completely different. I think he was like 1-8 or 2-8 under pressure. And then when he was not under pressure, he was like 21 for 21. Yeah, it was perfect. And clearly we know it's not going to be he's not going to have a perfect pocket. They have a good offensive line, but if those injuries and those players who haven't practiced as of yesterday all week, you got to take into consideration Rod, they have to travel. It's not a home game. So at some point, it's Friday. The game is in 2 days. If they haven't practiced, now I'm going to look at the injury report today, but you know they got to get on a plane and come to the Bay Area, right?
Yeah, so what does that have to do with anything? You talk about guys that already know their position. These are all pros. Ragnow and old boy on the right end. Huh?
Jonah Jackson.
And Jonah Jackson. No, those guys know what to do. How do you think Tyron Smith was able to stay healthy after the third, fourth game of the season? Dallas stopped practicing him. He never practiced. And then he's all world when he was out there. That's why he was first team All-Pro this year, because they kept him healthy they finally realized, you know what? Stop practicing him, because he gets hurt in practice and then he's not ready for the game. So this is what we're going to do. Don't practice at all and just come play. He knows the plays. I mean, those guys know the plays. They know what they got to do. It ain't that. None of that means nothing. Not to those kind of guys. Now, who you need to be worried about is if Debo's going to come out with his shoulder pads 3 sizes the normal size.
Oh my goodness.
Because he might look deformed in his uniform. Because if he gets a hit on that shoulder, because they coming for that shoulder, he already told them, bite kneecaps, bite shoulders. So they're going to bite some shoulders, and they're going to test that shoulder to see. Because Debo needs his shoulder. He runs with his shoulders. He's a shoulder guy. He's a physical runner. He likes to use his body. So if he's limited in that sense, and he gets hit on that shoulder, and you see a little, Debo slow getting up on this play, and you see a lot of wincing and all that, that's not a good sign. That's all I'm saying. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
No problem. My score.
What's your score?
49ers 38, Lions 20.
38-20?
38-20. I'm going to let that sink in. 38-20. And not to mention, I already said, because based on your analysis, they're going to make Brock Purdy beat him 350 in the air. Brandon Ayuk is going to have a phenomenal game. Phenomenal. When I say phenomenal game. Exactly. We can beat, and this is the misconception, that we can't beat Detroit without Debo. Yes, we can use him as a decoy and stuff. You're absolutely right, Briggs. We can use him as a decoy. If on third down, we could bring him in as a specialist. 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, give it to him. Little screen pass, he runs it in. Go back on the sideline. Put some ice on your shoulder. We need you for the Super Bowl. That's all.
If he's used as a decoy, he's not going to get the ball. That means he's just the defense is going to focus on Debo.
I said for 3rd and 2. For little.
Oh, 3rd and 2.
I said we can bring him in as a specialist.
Not worth it. And then ruin him more. Now you ain't even got him for the Super Bowl. If Debo is wincing, he's coming out. Okay. And they're going to have to win without him. And y'all know what y'all look like when Debo is not there. Okay? Y'all lost 3 games with him playing only 2.5.
It was Trent Williams and Debo.
Trent makes a factor, but Debo, but y'all have 3 yards less per play. When that's a lot of yards. That's a huge difference, D. That's a huge difference.
I want you to, and I'm going to be honest. You actually do break down your team this much, but you really go all out to really try to detract from the 49ers and try to make you find every reason to think that we can't win. Like, I'll say this. We have a team that is structured where if you ask me, is Debo a major factor? Of course he is. He's an X factor. He is one of a few X factors that we have on our team. Trent Williams is an X factor. So you're clear on this.
Yeah,
Trent Williams is an X factor.
Absolutely.
EMC, the best running back in the NFL, is an X factor.
Yes,
Debo Samuel, Swiss Army knife, can do everything, is an X factor. So taking one of those X factors away, it hurts the team, of course. The team is not at full strength. But can we beat Detroit without Debo Samuel playing at 100%? Absolutely we can. Absolutely.
You can, D, right? But it's not going to
Detroit,
but it'll
all
be a
season
struggle.
long.
Like you're not playing
as
Carolina without Debo. You're playing the Detroit like we got to stop underestimating this team. Like this is still a very, very well-coached team, and it's a good team with weapons. And then they use their weapons very well. And so you can't just assume you're going to go out there and without Debo, and that score is not going to be that score you picked, that 99-4 score you just chose, is not going to be the case if Debo is not out there.
Do you think that Jennings is he's not Debo. Do you think he's a good possession receiver? Do you think Jennings, like, he's a tough,
I don't think
he's seen him block? Did you see him block all the way into the Gatorade and
all the way he put him in the parking lot, bro?
All the way into the parking lot.
But that's culture there. That's culture. Everybody, all receivers in San Fran can block. That's because I give you that. I've always said that. Y'all can block your tails off, no doubt about it. But Jennings is not going to hurt you. He's a complimentary piece that fills in kind of nicely. He had a solid game. He did. He had a solid game against Green Bay last week. I was actually quite surprised. Him and the other old boy that couldn't the outright over there, Conley. I didn't even know who that was. I said, who's Conley? I didn't even know who dude was. But
he used to play with the Kansas City Chiefs, I think.
Really? Sure. Okay. Yeah. I mean, nice little pieces, but they're not going to hurt you like that. They're not going to hurt you. You need your stars, D. This is the NFC Championship game. You're one game away from the Super Bowl. You know this. You've been there. You was in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. You've been in numerous NFC Championships in the last 10 years. You understand this. No kick return, no double reverse plays for Debo. Just line them up and have them run deep to draw a double team, which leaves Kittles open across the middle. Kittles will have a huge game.
And Ayuk's going to have a huge game, too.
That makes sense.
I agree. Ayuk is going to have a good game.
Because Ayuk can do much of nothing. He was quiet, D, last week. Your number one. Your number one receiver was quiet last week. You thought he would show up more when Debo out.
Did he make a catch with his fingernails on that winning drive? I maybe missed that.
No, he did. He made a catch, and that was a good catch at the shoot because it was a bad throw by Purdy. So it was a good catch. You know what I'm saying? But it was. But he was quiet.
Do you see how I want the people that watch this to see how Rod is, and this is why we will no longer do sessions next year. The office is closed.
When
your team loses, I'm going to double down on the depths of just despair. I'm going to give you double for your trouble. I'm going to give you extra despair when the Cowboys, when you're in your lowest point. Because I mean, listen.
All I'm saying, I'm trying to point out facts. He don't want nobody to talk bad about his team, man. Listen, he don't like that.
You beat Detroit, right? We beat Detroit.
With
help. You beat Detroit, right?
Air quotes.
We took you guys apart like a two-piece puzzle.
You did.
For your own sake, to get some air in your lungs. You should be pushing for the Niners.
Better after that.
Because you should say, the Niners went on to win the Super Bowl.
I did. I gave y'all a lot of credit after that beatdown.
I'm talking about moving forward. Because right now you're trying to find out
what
you're trying. You should be like, the Niners. They're a great team. They should win. They should win. And then that should give the Cowboys some validity that, hey, they lost to a better team that went on to win the Super Bowl. But instead, if Debo doesn't get a pedicure before the game and one of his, you're looking for any reason possible for us to lose.
But D, all I'm saying is that is that shoulder injury was big. That was a big hit that Debo took. And they even thought it was, no fracture, obviously, nothing like that. But that shoulder is very tender, okay? And so
how do you know?
I'm just saying
they can't give him a shot.
Talking about
they can't give him a shot in his shoulder and numb it up.
Well, they probably could. I'm sure that they might try to do something to that effect. I mean, they're going to do everything in their power to make sure he's questionable, according to the ESPN
at the game report. But he'll play. He could have came back in the game if it was necessary.
It was necessary. You don't think that game was necessary? D, let me tell you something.
Did we win?
You're not going to stand here and tell me that there was no pressure on the 49ers last week. That was a game y'all very well could have lost.
Pressure busts pipes,
is that
right?
fair to say?
Pressure makes diamonds, right? Pressure, it's a privilege for pressure, right? And we handled it well.
No, y'all did. But I'm saying, but you don't think that was enough for Debo to come back?
They gave me a mantle, and they put the mantle on, and they said, you take it with you. You like that? That kind of pressure you're okay with. But when the 49ers handle well the pressure, see, you'll eat that up. They gave it to me, and they put it down, and they said, do with it what you will. You're okay with that. That's foolishness. See, because if Michael Irvin says that, it's okay. But if the Niners respond to adversity and they still win, you don't want that. Knock it off, man.
That was great, bro. That was great.
No.
I ain't front, bro. That was great. You gotta clip that. You gotta clip that, bro.
Kind of stuff, right? They gave it to me and they put it down and his eyes were looking glassy and he was on like, yo, that was crazy.
Yeah, a little something there before he did his video.
His eyes
you can tell.
I was like, all right, man.
It was sitting on his mantle.
Right, exactly.
He had the Shannon. He had the Club Shay sitting on the mantle.
He had the,
you know what I'm saying?
I forget what his thing is called.
I forgot the name of his drink. But I'm saying,
Laportier.
Yeah, that's what
Laportier on his mantle.
They put this on his mantle. They put the Laportier on the mantle.
Right, exactly.
But D, all I'm saying is that was enough for Debo to come back. That's all I'm saying. Debo had a chance. Listen, there was more than enough pressure in that game to have Debo come back if they needed him to play. If he was able to still play.
We as a team are thinking long term, right? February, we are thinking, and so if there was a chance that we could somehow march down the field and win the game, right? And not risk Debo for the bigger game, right? Had you think about this. When after Detroit lost and messed up the chance to win the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed to the Cowboys, the game that they played the following week, and they hurt and Laporta got hurt, that was an unnecessary, because it had already been pretty much decided that they weren't going to be the number 1 or number 2 seed. Once you guys lost, and they became the number 2 seed, but it was already set. So it's that kind of stuff. If we have bigger goals that we still have, we're pushing to accomplish. Yeah. Putting Debo at further risk, right? Because he went back to the tent, then he went back to the locker room. So clearly they did some preliminary tests that didn't show. He said that injury that he suffered in Cleveland was when he was out for 3 weeks. He said he couldn't lift his arm up. The hit that happened last week, he at least had mobility, whether you want to say it was adrenaline, whatever. He still could move his arm, so he knew it wasn't as bad. At that point, why risk it? I know it's win or go home.
You risk it because it's the playoffs and there's no tomorrow. So that's, if you're going to risk it, that's the time to risk it. But I'm just trying to say, y'all pulled it out, and that was a good point. With the Briggs pointed out the stat, I forgot about that. That stat right there.
That is true.
That is a big stat right there. Okay, I didn't even know that.
But he don't want to. But he doesn't want to give us credit for that. He doesn't want to give us credit for that.
Well, all right. So now you're 1-31. I'm saying. I mean, it's not like you changed it around. Right? You know what I'm saying? You didn't change it around like that. That's still a bad stat. Okay, it's not like it was one and y'all lost your last 4 games after being down in the fourth. I mean, being down in the fourth quarter, y'all weren't able to come back. You're doing 31 straight games where y'all were not able to win when y'all are down in the second half or in the fourth quarter. That says a lot now, because y'all obviously been playing ahead, because the way y'all been dominating teams for the last couple of years, more or less, particularly since CMC got there, if you will. But what I'm saying though, D, is that you can't underestimate I think you're underestimating these Lions. You're not giving them enough credit.
No. They have played really well. And I'm not, but what I'm saying is when they compare Brock Purdy, because what they a lot of people are basically calling it a push, and they're giving Detroit more credit than necessary because Jared Goff has gone further. He's more accomplished. He's played more in playoff games than Brock Purdy is. Yeah. Right? So they're giving the edge to Jared Goff.
I think he's a better quarterback than
I think that they're doing that in error. I think they're doing that in error. I think.
Why you say? Why is that in error?
Because I don't think he's as mobile as Brock Purdy. I don't think he's better under pressure than Brock Purdy is. I think he has a stronger arm. If I'm being honest, he has a stronger arm, right? But he's also kind of conditioned himself to be a quarterback that plays better in controlled elements. He's a dome quarterback, right? At the end of the day,
so it don't get cold in Chicago and Green Bay. I mean, he plays in an NFC North. I mean, he still plays and he plays a lot of games in cold weather still. Like
half of his time he plays in cold weather, right? Yeah. And half he plays in controlled, weather-tempered environments.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, even when he played with the Rams, if you know the tendencies of certain quarterbacks, what makes them comfortable. Tom Brady, arguably the best quarterback ever based on statistics and winning and all of that stuff. Was he a different person when you hit Tom Brady? After you hit him and got him off his spot, he's a different person. So teams later in his career tried to attack him that way. Because if you gave him a clean pocket, he would pick any team apart. I think Jared Goff,
NFL quarterback would do that.
Some thrive.
Well, a good one.
Yeah. I think Lamar is good off if you get him out of the pocket because he has legs. He's mobile.
No, but I'm saying, but any quarterback you hit, I mean, all quarterbacks are subject to pressure of some kind. Brady obviously was able to maneuver because when you got guys like James White and these guys, they turned those little flats and screens into their running game. Brady was able to get the ball out quicker, right? So they was able to counter that. But my thing is this, though. Purdy, I mean, San Fran, it ain't snowing in San Fran. Like, he ain't playing in a lot of inclement weather either. So a little bit of rain, I mean, that's about the most y'all gonna get. There's a little bit of rain, and it could get cold. I know when we was at the game last year, Briggs know, it was bleeding that day. I ain't gonna front. It was freezing that day. I remember. It wasn't bad. It was cold that day.
It was supposed to rain. We're talking about when we played Miami.
When y'all played Miami last year, we was at the game.
It was supposed to rain, but it wound up being, the
but it was. I remember being up there, hat on, like, yo, it was cold, and then warmed up maybe later on. I don't know, or maybe whatever it was. But
I think when Purdy came in, there was a warm front that came. I think there was a warm front that came.
Goff is better than Purdy, though. I don't know where your argument was going. If that's what you were trying to say, I'm going to disagree with you.
No. I'm saying that Jared Goff, when you compare the two, they are closer. And I would personally give the edge to Brock Purdy because of two things. He's more mobile and how he handles pressure.
He has better pocket awareness. He can probably roll out and move.
You're not going to blindside him a lot of times. Jared Goff will be looking, and he will get completely blindsided and knocked off his squid.
No, I agree with that.
I think if I'm comparing the two, I would rather have someone who has a clock going on and can sense the pressure and either steps up or takes a little run or is able to get the ball out their hands faster. In my opinion, I would give Brock Purdy the edge. Now, I get it that Goff has a stronger arm. I get that. But I think for the most part, if I'm comparing the two, I like the elusiveness of
right.
Brock
But Purdy is, to me, though, D, and I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say this is definitive. And James, you talked about watching his tape. I don't know, and when you talk about watching the tape, I'm hope you're talking about NFL tape, right? Not what he did in college. I don't care what these kids did in college. College means nothing to me. They're in the NFL now. The NFL, what I'm saying is that it doesn't feel like Purdy does great when he gets knocked off his spot too. He can avoid the sack, but now if he has to read the field under duress like that and move out of the pocket, it doesn't feel like he's comfortable enough to know what he's seeing all the time. He's not like, Allen and all these other, and I'm trying to put him in that category because, it would be unfair for us to even do that to Purdy. We know
even
he's
though
not Allen
statistically,
and Lamar.
He's had better numbers and statistics than all of them. Even though
I'm talking about out of the pocket. But I mean, as far as out of the pocket throws, reading, going on second and third reads under duress. I don't know what his PFFs are, what his gen stats would say. That's something we have to research and look into. You know what I'm trying to say? But yeah, you can get in Goff, and you're right. The pressure on Goff, it does mess him up. It does, because he's not a guy that knows how to evade pressure. I agree with Donald's point on that. I do. But I don't think that we could say that necessarily doesn't apply to Purdy either, though. I think Purdy could still get away from a sack. He could probably make the first guy miss. He can climb the pocket a little, climb the pocket some. But I don't know how good he is always, because a lot of throws can be off. And a lot of times he's not seeing the field always. And when he gets under that little bit of pressure, like what Baltimore did with him, he's prone to turn that ball over.
Did he lead in throwing in the tightest windows in the NFL?
But you throw tight windows, is that in the pocket or out of pocket? Because there's stats for that too. And you got to see, if we're talking about pressure, if the argument right now,
all right, so even if it was in the pocket,
coming out,
let's just say it was in the pocket, right? And he threw in the tightest windows, had the best percentage in tight windows in the NFL. Is Patrick Mahomes in that plays for the NFL? Josh Allen. Josh Allen plays in the NFL. All the people that you named. So you discount his skill set because he's affected. I'm just comparing the two. If you apply the same amount of pressure to Brock Purdy as you do Jared Goff, I like Brock Purdy's chances to succeed with that pressure.
Okay, I mean, okay, I can probably see you there. Yeah, I could probably see you there. You know, and you got to scheme out of pressure too. Sometimes not always the pass pro. You got to scheme out of that. You know what I'm saying? He will start running like he did on that last drive.
Oh, sorry.
What did he say? No, you good. You good on that drive to get us to the 11-yard line. Yeah. That was, and I was actually shocked to see him run like that because you don't see Purdy run like that. Not with regularity. That's not his thing.
James,
how
right.
often is Goff out the pocket?
He doesn't.
No,
he stays
he's
in
right.
That pocket.
I agree. No, and I'm not. That's not my argument. My argument is that, but don't act like that. Purdy is just superb either when he's under pressure and he's got to roll out because he's not that. It doesn't feel like he's that great with his third reads and when he has to scramble out that pocket and that scheme that Shanahan put together. That's so perfect picture is broken down. Now he's got to be able to figure some stuff out. You know what I'm trying to say? And his receivers are going to have to ad-lib their routes in a minute. You know what I mean?
Can we do something real quick that we really don't do? Can I get can we get some stats predictions? Because I'm predicting.
Did you see James' stats right there though? That's an interesting stat. He said Purdy has the 23 ranked O-line, and that's that's what the best left tackle in the game. So what are you implying, James, that the O-line?
What you think you're trying to do for his harm is really for his good. You're saying he's saying the 23rd, but with the best left tackle. As opposed to Jared Goff, I'm thinking he's comparing Jared Goff's offensive line versus Brock Purdy's offensive line. Is that
but Detroit is still pulled up. I mean, if that is his point, and we'll give him a minute to clarify himself there, but if that's his point, I mean, then you go back to what the success that you've had, right? Detroit still can move the ball. They've done well offensively. They can still move. So Garrett, though Goff is under pressure, he's still getting the ball out and doing what he needs to do. And Purdy does the same thing. But at the end of the day, from what we've been seeing from Purdy against good defenses, is that can he move and be able to still get to these guys in his second and third reads when he's under duress? That's all I'm saying.
So can I just say this?
So go ahead. What were you going to?
This might bring some clarity to it. Okay. Sometimes if we didn't play Detroit this year, right? This is the first time we'll be playing Detroit in the NFC Championship game, right?
Right.
So can we compare to what we can compare is strength of schedule, right? When the Ravens played Detroit, they got blown out, completely blown out, right? And we got blown out, right? When Detroit played the Cowboys, right? Mm-hmm. They beat the Cowboys by 2 points. We beat you by 32 points, right?
Okay. What does that mean?
So what I'm saying is we can't compare. We're saying that we don't know how Jared Goff and Detroit and Purdy and the Niners are going to fare against each other, but we can go on similar opponents that we have played and base it off of that. You think that's a fair comparison? Or is that not really?
No, not really, because you don't have the complete trifecta. To your point, I mean, the Niners haven't played Detroit. We played Detroit. We played y'all, right? We're the common denominator in that trifecta.
And it's a 32 point. There is a 30-point difference to the Niners side in those competitions.
But a team might play different in the playoffs. Like it's a different, like in the playoffs now. I know what you're trying to say, but the truth is Detroit is going to approach this game a lot differently. And because of the magnitude of it, as would the 49ers. So, I mean, let's just be honest, D. I'm going to be honest with you. If Dallas was in the NFC Championship game, I would not expect Dallas to give up 42 points to y'all in the NFC Championship.
Give me 1 second. I got to charge my thing.
Okay. So what I'm saying here, America, and let me touch these things here. So our quarterback needs to roll out. So Briggs, you feel they need to roll out more, get him rolling out. They don't really roll him out a lot. He only seems to roll out when it's time, when the pass protection breaks down. And that's what my thing is with Purdy. Can he be able to commandeer an offense when everything breaks down? That's the difference. And that's you're going to need in the playoffs because you're playing against better defenses now. because Detroit does have a pass rush. And so can Purdy roll out? Now, if it's a design rollout, yeah, that's great. But you're right. That's probably he needs a little bit more practicing because they don't roll him out a lot. But can he commandeer offense when it breaks down? That's the thing. That's the thing we got to see with Purdy on those rollout plays. Not a design rollout, but when the pass pro breaks down. That's what we got to see. We need to treat this like the Cowboys game. A steady quarterback, great on O-line, half decent run game, one major weapon, and a questionable defense. I mean, yeah, but you're I don't know about that. I mean, again, Dallas was at that time, Dallas did very little motion in that game against the 49ers. Okay. We were never able to run the ball. We didn't even have it. I can't even thank you. That's a compliment to say a half decent running game. We didn't even have that, honestly, even though Pollard got 1,000 yards a season, but our run game was trash all year long. CD was not the same player in that game that he eventually became after we played the 49ers. Okay. We ran a very putrid, inept, unimaginative offense at that time. So if that's why I say if Dallas was playing 49ers today or this Sunday, it would look a lot different. Dallas, I think, will play a lot better than what they played early in the year against the Niners. But you can't treat that Detroit team the same way. I don't necessarily think you can just, match them up like that. I think you still got to be. They got two good running backs. They got a way better running game than Dallas has. Way better offensive line than Dallas had. Okay. And I think you got more weapons. Even though Ferguson was good, but that Dallas team was not the same team that we saw them eventually become later in the year. Detroit was already that team, and Detroit is a much better team.
Now he said streaky quarterback, not steady quarterback. Streaky.
I'm sorry, streaky quarterback. How is he streaky though? I don't know if he's.
So Dak Prescott is not streaky.
No, Dak was consistent all year. That's why he was in the MVP runnings. I thought he was talking about Purdy. He's saying approach it the same way. In other words, from what I'm understanding, he's saying that Detroit and Dallas is the same team. So approach Detroit the way you would approach Dallas. If I'm reading this comment right, I could be wrong.
Dak is streaky. Dak
is streaky.
Yeah.
Rod, screwing the facts. Streaky quarterback, not steady. I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. I read that wrong. My apologies. Right, I got glasses on, still can't see. But yeah, right. No. Dak is streaky. Dak is streaky when it comes to the playoffs. I think he was steady all year long. I'm not gonna lie though, James. I do. I mean, that's why he was much more effective against bad defenses. But he also played well against better defenses, but not to the same level because it was just a better defense. But that's not streaky. Streaky to me, my definition of streaky is somebody who throws for 350, 4 touchdowns one week. The next week, now they're 17 of 34 for 180 yards with 1 touchdown and 2 picks. Then they come back the next week and throw for 400 yards. And then the next week, that's not Dak. Dak was consistent. That's why he was an MVP runner-up this year.
Thanks for joining us, Rod. I'll see you Sunday, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Pull up to the gym. That's what's up, man. No doubt, man. We appreciate you, Rod. Thanks, man. Coming on. That's it. 2 Rods, man, in the building. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks, man.
So let's get your score.
My score is I got the Niners. I got the Niners winning.
After all that, really?
I told you I had the Niners winning, but you're just not going to sit here and just disrespect Detroit like that. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not disrespecting.
Yeah, no, you disrespecting them, son. Don't let me.
Listen, bro. They're the heartbeat of they're America's new team. They're America's team now.
They're the heartbeat of America. They keep the economy going, right? They keep the NFL going.
They're the heartbeat of America economy. So I'm not disrespecting them. That's the backbone. That's kneecap capital of the
so
world.
James, if you talk about last year's playoff game, then yeah, okay, that I'll probably give you that. Okay, I thought you were talking about the regular season game. My apologies. Okay, I didn't know which game you were referring to. We've been getting beat by the Niners in regular season and playoffs. I didn't know which one you were referring to, sir.
Right.
I didn't play well. Trench game was good. Everyone else besides Diggs was trash. Yeah. Okay. I'm all right. I'll concede to that. Yeah, I'll concede to that. Yeah, because CD played well in that game too last year in the playoffs. He actually had over 100 yards in that game. Same game plan. I want to shoot out. 41-32. James is picking. James, I'm gonna go and done. I got the Niners winning this game. 30, 34. I'm going to go 34-28. I think they can put some points up on your defense. You just got to play very measured against the 49ers. I think if you got why are you laughing? You got to play measured. You got to play measured. I think that's what LaFleur did. And that was with a young quarterback, man. He did that with a young quarterback. I'm telling you, man, listen, D, you was nervous on that last drive. I know you was too, James. If Love doesn't try to be Aaron Rodgers in that moment for no reason, didn't need to be. I can see it was 4th and 10, and you're just trying to make something happen, then that's different. But not 1st and 10 with 2 timeouts. Like, it just didn't make sense what he did. I think they would have gotten field goal range, and I think that game would have still been playing right now in overtime.
And so you just gave credit to LaFleur for being measured, right? Right?
Yeah, when you look at his game plan through the game,
so
yeah.
Who do you feel is more measured? Dan Campbell, who emotionally lost that game.
Plays. No, but he's not calling the plays.
But he's the head coach at the end of the day.
Yeah, but he's gonna let his OCs do what they need to do. And when I say measured,
so whose idea was it, do you think, to run 3 consecutive 2-point conversions? You think Dan Campbell didn't have any say on that? You think the offensive coordinator said, "No, Dan, chill. We're not going to kick the extra point. We're going to go and try to win the game"?
I see your point. What you're trying to say then, perhaps, is that at some point Dan's going to get reckless with a decision in that game. Okay, fine.
He's going to do something not necessary.
No, that's fair. And that's why I'm saying if you play measured, you might have a chance. Just play smart football, right? Don't take that we Detroit pride play and then we just going to do something stupid. No, I agree with you there. But that's why if you play measured, you can beat the 49ers. He doesn't need to do anything stupid. So no, I agree with you there. Okay.
If you play measured, you might be able to keep it close. Winning, not so much.
I'll concede to that too. That's what the Green Bay did. They kept it close because they were measured until the last drive. And I'll give Purdy props. Purdy can put some drives together. He had a good drive against Dallas in the playoffs last year. He had a good drive in this game here against Green Bay. He can put some drives together. He can when it counts. He'll get it. Even in Minnesota, that was not his fault. When Moody missed that field goal, not Minnesota, Cleveland. When Moody missed that field goal, he did his job. He got them in field goal range. So I'm not going to knock that.
And I even said when we got the bye that they needed to kind of start shopping some other kickers, because even in this game, Moody missed. It was blocked. The extra point or the field goal was blocked. Yeah. Moody sometimes, I don't know.
Yeah, Moody could be.
He's a first round pick.
He's Moody. Case could be Moody.
Sometimes his focus or he gets some of that I don't know. But if we play right and we play Niners football, it won't come to a field goal. It won't come to an extra point. That extra point should just be, academic. It shouldn't be anything that is, changing the game or keeping the game in balance. It should just be kick these extra points. We're going to put up, at least you agreed that we're going to put up 30 points. I have us 38-20.
Those corners are suspect. Yeah.
You have Niners 34-28. So
I got
both of us
34,
have
20.
the Niners winning. Mm-hmm. And both of us have the Ravens winning. So we anticipate a Niners-Ravens Super Bowl, which should be very exciting. Right, man. Great show, man.
Yeah, great show, man.
I'm glad you're back to 100%, man. I'm glad that you're back to.
Listen, all I'm saying, D, man, bro, don't lose, man.
See, I'm trying to end the show on a bright note.
I gotta mess with him, America. I gotta mess with him. I know. Let me put them eyes in the chat, bro. You gonna get one eye. You get one eye. We got one eye. We got. In our chat, there was some eyes. We had some eyes looking at certain plays or how stuff. He is a hater. Of course he is. He's a hater. And you see that we were just trying to end the show on a positive note. I was about to, speak into his life, and then of course, but don't lose. And these are the eyes that we text each other back and forth. Every time, when we see something, we're like, yo.
Right.
you get one eye, but if I gotta put 3, 4, 5 eyes in that,
4 sets of eyes, then
the Niners are in trouble, bro.
Thank you, James.
Here we go.
Never forget. Here we go. Right.
Listen. We're gonna talk about the Cowboys in the offseason though, because listen. Congrats to the Niners though, D. Y'all are in an NFC Championship game. All right. Y'all have been the most dominant team all year long. I said to you, that was the only team that I felt the Cowboys needed to worry about. Had we had just got to this point where y'all are now and lose, because I don't think we would have beat the 49ers anyway. I don't think we got enough breaks beat off the way we did before. But we would have lost that game. You know what? And I would have been happy. I'd have held my head high. I would have said, you know what? We took a step in the right direction. Got a couple playoff games under our belt. Good season. We lost to a better team. And I would have been all right with that. That's all. But didn't happen. We lost in the most devastating way a team can lose, particularly when you talk about the projections. On that note, listen, Niners. Listen, it's gonna be Niners and Ravens in the Super Bowl. D, y'all got this though. Y'all will win. It's all good. Y'all
you sure?
Win.
Now,
yeah,
I think like I want to end on a positive note.
On a positive note.
Are you gonna try to?
No, I'm not gonna slip nothing in. I'm not gonna slip nothing in. It's just it's all good. Niners gonna win this game, and I definitely think y'all got woken up a little bit. Did you see Joey Bosa breathe out air? He at the end, he was like, "Oh God, he was under pressure, son, and he's playing the game. He got the power to change the outcome of a game and was scared to death." So listen, you know how the fans was feeling, but it's all good. Niners will win. 34-28, Niners. And I think Purdy's going to struggle, but he'll play enough to win. And I think it's going to build some more grit with him. And I think that's what you're going to see. Well, don't win anything with a cupcake schedule. We don't need to talk about. Yeah, you're right, James. We ain't going to make it about the boys today. Although the national media does. I mean, Nick Bosa. Yeah, my bad, Ken. Yeah, not Joey. Yeah, Nick. Yeah, Joey's with the Chargers. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, who just got a new head coach. Next show, we're going to talk about all the coaching changes.
Yeah, talk about the coaching changes.
And it should be really interesting.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's going to be still maybe some hires in between. And I think after this week, there's going to be some more hires.
Real quick though, D, who did the Titans hire? I don't know why I'm drawing a brain fart. Did they hire anybody? The Titans?
Yeah, they took some coordinator that didn't make sense. They took oh man, it escapes me. It got rid of Vrabel, and the owner was like, they wanted to really go in a different direction and get somebody who was, with all these big name coaches. And I think they took some
Callahan. Yeah, it was Callahan
from the Bengals, right?
Yeah, from the Bengals. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, they took Callahan. That's what it did. Yeah. Two
sacks from Big Bear. I agree with that.
Baby Bear. That's what y'all call Bosa. Y'all call him Baby Bear. That's his nickname in San Fran. That's what y'all call him.
What's
Baby Bear? Who's Baby Bear?
What's Parker?
Micah's the lion. Micah's the lion. He's the lion. Y'all call him Baby Bear. That was so ferocious about that. There's nothing ferocious about that. Baby Bear. That's what y'all give him as a nickname. Y'all give Nick Bosa baby. As good as Bosa is, the dude's one of the best DNs.
Does he have a brother in the NFL?
Who? Oh, that's why they call him that. Okay, so his brother's known as the Big Bear?
I don't know, but I would imagine that's the reason. It's his Twitter handle.
Oh.
Joey is Big Bear. That's what I figured.
Okay.
Does that make sense now?
Okay. Makes sense. Okay.
See, you saw him. The corner of his lip went up. He was about to start with Baby Bear. Like, listen.
I didn't know that was. See, I don't know. I ain't in them San Fran streets, so I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't follow the Bosa family like that. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. It's all good. Okay.
I think it's gonna be any way you cut it, it's gonna be a really good weekend of football.
It's gonna be some good football.
These are, whether you like Purdy or Goff or Mahomes or Lamar, for the most part, these are the teams we expected to be here when it was all said and done.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so it's going to be exciting.
For the most part, yeah.
For the most part. I mean, we thought maybe somebody else would be here, but they had
19 problems. Rob made it 20.
Right, exactly.
Listen, I ain't got nothing to do, man. I'm off, man. I ain't got nothing to do. So I might as well mess with y'all. All right? But anyway.
Listen, shout out to Kingdom Creative for the production. Shout outs to Infinite Audio for the music. Man, we appreciate everybody that joined us today. James.
Appreciate y'all. Man. Briggs is in the building.
Briggs in the building.
We'll try to get you on the show, Briggs, before the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Rod, thanks for joining us. I'm
Rod in the building. James.
I'm clicking these buttons. I'm trying to scroll up. Of course, David for joining.
David joined us. Mr. Brady.
Brady, right. Yesteryear quarterback.
Yesteryear.
And shout out to the Niner fans, Niner faithful, bang, bang, Niner gang. We're going to handle business. We're going to the Super Bowl again. This time we're getting the chip on the quest for number 6. And I'm excited about it, man. I think we're going to get it done. And then look at Rod's face. I love that. I love it. That he's just quiet. There's nothing he can say. Listen, there's nothing he can say. That's it.
All I say.
All of that stuff that we're saying. But see, he's going to end on a bad note.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
He's going to end on a bad. He's going to try to end on a bad note, man. I don't want him to, but he will. Hey, James, thanks, man. Much love, man. We appreciate
you joining us. Appreciate you, bro.
UK affiliate in the building. We appreciate it. Shouts out to Scrap.
Yes,
our man.
Eagles.
He wasn't able to be on the show, but listen, he's here. He's here with us in spirit, man. We appreciate you.
Always appreciate Scrap, man.
Contributions, man. All the fun that we have. Thanks to everyone for joining us once again. Please like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. We really appreciate it. We appreciate all the activity, all of the support. We like the comments. If you like our takes, if there's anything we said that you disagree with, hey, leave a comment. We will respond. We will respond. And if it's a topic that you want us to discuss, we'll bring it up in the show, man. And if you join us, we'll have open dialogue and resolve it. But we appreciate everything you guys are doing. Shout out to Infinite Audio. He's from Detroit, but he's a Niners fan. Strangely enough, his family is still very hard in Detroit. In-laws and all that stuff is very hard in Detroit. So I'm sure that they're going to be excited about this. But listen, it was the Cinderella run comes to an end this weekend, man. Go Niners. We appreciate it, man. All right, man. Until next time, everybody. Go Niners. One more time. Go Niners. Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, 350, 4 touchdowns.
350. That's the part right there.
350.
Okay.
Yeah, because according to Rod, Detroit is going to force Brock Purdy to beat him in the air. And beat him, he will. Until next time, thanks for joining us. Peace.